Audio seems to be a little shaky, so I'm going to walk you through this by talking you through it. Today what I'm showing you is a homemade deadlift jack. The pieces involved are fairly simple pieces. Generally you're going to be using galvanized pipe. This is a 12-inch piece of 1-inch pipe. All of the pieces are, or all of the fittings are 1-inch. So you have one 12-inch piece. You're going to have four 2-inch pieces of galvanized pipe. Two 45-degree elbows. You want to make sure that there's one thread, or that it's threaded on one end. And then we also have four T's, again making sure that the ends have 1-inch fittings within them so that you're able to screw the pipes into them. Overall it's very simple to put together, and the focus here is going to just be on hand screwing things in, just to make sure that the video is simple without a lot of breaks. So you start by attaching one T to the end, hand screw it on. You can tighten it down later with a wrench and or a vise or together. Then we move into attaching the second galvanized T into the other end. You're going to be wanting to screw these on and make sure that as you tighten them, you want one to be facing something like north and south, and the other east and west. One is going to be facing with the galvanized T out, the other one's going to be facing with it flat or towards the ground. You can see it's already kind of taking shape as far as the deadlift jack goes. The next thing you're going to do is take one of your 2-inch pieces and attach it to the one end that's pointing towards the ground. So as you can see, you're going to start to be able to form the actual jack portion of this deadlift jack. Take a second galvanized T and attach that to the other end. What I'm doing here is kind of back threading, your back spinning, to make sure that you can fit the piece in right, and make sure that you don't ruin the threads, you don't cross thread, or you don't strip it out. Again, hand tightening. And now we're going to take the third T and attach it to one end of the 2-inch pieces of pipe. Again, hand tightening everything down to make sure that everything is nice and snug. But overall, you're going to want to make sure that you're able to have some adjustments to make sure that everything is lined up properly. It is going to be tight, and you're going to be tightening things down a lot, so it is going to bring down the jack size a decent bit too, but this does fit under a bar rather well. Take your fourth and final T and make sure that you attach it to the other end. So now you essentially have a T shape. As you can see, all the galvanized T's right now that do not have pieces attached to them are kind of facing a similar direction. This last one that you want to put on is going to be facing the same direction as the 12-inch pipe. This is going to be the piece of the bar actually sits on when you lift up your barbell for your deadlifts or whatever exercise you perform where you need the assistance of the deadlift jack. Okay, now we take our first elbow piece and we screw it into the T, and these need to be facing up and down, so that this is essentially the catch for the bar. So this will be the backside catch of the bar. So as you lift it up, the bar is going to roll back into this. You need to make sure that you don't mess up the threads, you don't mess up anything, and you want to make sure that it's really snug, because the bar will roll back into that. The closer it is to the other side, or to the T, the less distance the bar is going to have to roll back into that, which is also going to help reduce pressure and also help with the knurl on the bar. And then we attach the last 45-degree fitting onto the other side of the T. This is going to be the initial catch. These final two pieces of these final two 2-inch pieces are going to be to make sure that as you lift up the bar, it doesn't slip off, it doesn't roll off. They are essentially the final catch pieces to ensure that the bar doesn't go anywhere. Even if it were to bounce for some reason, then it wouldn't bounce right out of your deadlift jack. Now, as you can tell, the galvanized piece, or the galvanized T, is kind of elevated a little bit. So essentially what's not shown here is going to be a decent bit of electrical tape to help bring it up to the level of the galvanized T, and then wrapping all of it to make sure that the knurl on the deadlift bar, or the knurl on the bar itself, does not get wrecked through repetitive use of the deadlift jack. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Any questions, email me, Brandon@liftingdad.com.